Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. Before we get started, you already know, please hit the bell, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and smash the like buttons on this bad boy. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so Joy Reid, everybody knows that this is one of the most inconsistent women in the media. For the most part, anytime she says something, it's a contradiction. All right, it's a complete contradiction. So in an article from Russia Today, she's saying that there's a twist in the debate over Pelosi's speakership for Medicare for all vote idea. People who push it must be racist, according to MSNBC's Joy Reid. And I swear, she is one of these people who just calls everything racist purposely with a smile on her face to downplay when actual racism is happening. I mean, look at her. She's smiling. So this football player guy, Justin Jackson, he tweets and he says, "It's funny when people like you, Joy Ann Reid, think you have some moral high ground when in reality, every single day you use your platform to purposely misinform struggling Americans about how they can't possibly have free healthcare like the rest of the developed world." All right. So what you guys should do is check out Black Light Revelations 1 and check out some of the videos that I have about Joy Reid and her hypocrisy. All right. So here it says, there is a highly debated idea to force Nancy Pelosi to hold a vote on Medicare for all, which is M4A. And its advocates are apparently racists. Now pay attention to this. Medicare for all. The advocates of Medicare for all are apparently racist, all right, who want to order around women of color. Now, I got a punchline. You guys know how I do. You know how I do this already. You know, I either got a smart ass comment or a punchline. All right, so get ready because I'm about to have her jaw on the floor with this one. So she says Medicare for all, M4A, and its advocates are apparently racists who want to order around women of color. MSNBC host Joy Reid believes next month, Nancy Pelosi needs a majority vote in the House to be confirmed for her next speaker term, since the Democratic majority became very slim after November's elections. Only a handful of votes not cast in her favor may block the nomination. Apparently, the scenario seemed probable enough for the party leadership to take action. Earlier this month, House Rules Chair Jim McGovern warned possible descendants that they would be voting for the QAnon wing of the Republican Party unless they back Pelosi. All right, now see, here it says, unless you vote for Pelosi, you vote for GOP QAnon. House Rules Chair tells Democrats in preemptive strike against dissenters. This is how they do. They even bully each other. Well, there's a suggestion on how to do exactly that, and it has been making quite the ruckus on political Twitter over the last few days. The goal is not to spite Pelosi or help the GOP, but to force her to take a vote on Medicare for all, a system of universal health care in the United States proposed to replace the one currently in place. All right. So again, the goal is not to spite Pelosi or help the GOP, but to force her to take a vote on Medicare for all, a system of universal health care in the United States, which is proposed to replace the one that's currently in place. Now remember, Joy Reid says here that Medicare for all and its advocates are apparently racist. And this is not old, this is new. This happened today, December 14th of 2020, all right, at 11:30. All right, so we continue. There's of course virtually no chance that such a piece of legislation would pass, even at a time of a crippling pandemic, considering that Joe Biden opposes universal health care. Now, here's some other shit that's weird. Joe Biden opposes universal health care. Now, let's just roll this back. Okay, we're gonna roll this whole situation back so that we're not lost. Okay, because this is a lot. One, Joy Reid says anyone who advocates for Medicare for all is a racist. All right, burning crosses and then going to the doctor free because the insurance is for all to get them burns clean. and treated. All right. Next, unless you vote for Nancy Pelosi, you're voting for GOP QAnon. All right. Also, don't forget that Medicare for all is women of color bullies. All right. Consider Joe Biden, the vice president, opposes universal health care. All right. But now here it says, but a vote would be on the record, and every Democrat seeking re-election would have to answer to their constituency. The plan is this election cycle, candidates supporting Medicare for all right. So this election cycle, candidates supporting Medicare for all on the campaign trail were remarkably successful at winning seats. A fact that squad member Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez used to defend progressives when they were attacked from the center over disappointing election results. All right. A call to AOC and other like-minded representatives to force a M4A vote came last week from comedian and political commentator Jimmy Dore on the Hill's Rising program. The idea gained a lot of traction online and even made Dore's name trend on Twitter at one point. But there was also plenty of pushback, some of which may seem a bit bizarre. And this is very bizarre. This is extremely bizarre. You know what I'm saying? All right. So here it says, one commenter, for example, called out several supporters by name and branded them very white Bernie Sanders left. Now, all right. Pay attention to this. All right. If you support Medicare for all, you are a very white Bernie Sanders left. So we know Bernie Sanders is just, we all know he's racist as all hell. You know what I'm saying? He tries to hide it. He tries too hard though. You know what I'm saying? Like when he's on camera and he tries to hide it, the wrinkles, they stay in his face. You know what I'm saying? For about 10 to 15 seconds after he's using so much force up there. You know what I'm saying? To try to keep a straight face. So here it says, who treat women of color on the squad as the help to be ordered around. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So here they're setting up the underdog scenario for the squad. This is how they're going to reel you in with this squad soap opera. You know what I'm saying? Now here it says the settlement was backed by NBC star host Joy Reid. Now here comes Joy Reid with her nonsense. All right. So this says T. Fisher King, first Glenn Greenwald, then Jimmy Dore, now Kate Halper. More and more of the very white Bernie Sanders left is showing the women of color squad today, AOC, that they are really considered the help to be ordered around. It's that good old fashioned liberal racism. You know what I'm saying? But it's that good old fashioned liberal trickery also. And speaking of the devil, make sure that you watch my Jake Paul quote racism explained video. All right. So now here's this person, Katie Halper, says hard agree. If AOC and the squad don't do what Jimmy Dore has suggested and withhold their vote for Pelosi for speakership unless Medicare for all gets brought to the floor for a vote, they will be revealing themselves. Power concedes not. Fact. I'm about to follow this Justin Jackson dude. I want to see what he says. So here it says, ironically, the not so veiled allegation of racism cites a post by Justin Jackson, an NFL player who happens to be black. And this is what they do. When liberals don't like it, they start calling the black people racist. But for the most part, that's what the whole United States is following suit of nowadays. It says he called out Reid, saying she was using her platform to purposely misinform struggling Americans. And she did the same thing when she talked about the ADOS movement, and when she also talked about the black conservatives, also about healthcare. Now, Justin Jackson here, he says, it's funny when people like you, Joyanne Reid, think that you have some moral high ground when in reality, every single day you use your platform to purposely misinform struggling Americans about how they can't possibly have free healthcare like the rest of the developed world. And then she responds, yep, Now, here he says, your worldview begins and ends with hating Republicans, all while allowing establishment Democrats to deny Americans the exact same things, while just coating it in a nicer facade. It's shameful, and this black man sees right through it. All right, so now he's racializing. You know what I'm saying? And AOC is like, forget all y'all. What's up with Puerto Rico? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, for what it's worth, AOC herself rejected the idea. Now, AOC herself rejected this idea. So now we got all of these people of color calling each other racists. This is hilarious. And then we got the we got the white liberals here. All right. This lady Katie Halper, white liberal, she's calling everybody racist. Now wait for it. Remember, there's always a punchline. So now it says, for what it's worth, AOC herself rejected the idea, saying that there was no sense in voting on a bill that is destined to fail and that she would rather use her leverage on something doable. However, her example of passing a $15 an hour minimum wage for federal workers is on Joe Biden's platform. It was not clear why she would need to pressure centrists over it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Problem with this idea is that there isn't enough thought given to step two. The Dems votes aren't there yet, and with a razor thin margin, the Dems NOs are margins. So you issue threats, hold your vote, and lose. Then what? If you want to know who's opposed, look at co-sponsor lists. In contrast, you can use leverage to push for things that can happen and change lives, i.e. a $15 minimum wage vote in the first 100 days, elevating longtime progressive champions to important positions of leadership. See that? There it is right there. Now just watch. You're gonna see certain people progress. All right? You're gonna see a huge change. There's gonna be a bunch of people progressing and moving into different areas. All right? So we're gonna go back to this article, all right, because we're almost finished. Now here it says 2020 was a major win for centrist Democrats who managed to rein in a progressive insurrection from the Bernie Sanders wing of the party and circle wagons around Joe Biden. The promise was that once Biden was elected, the president could be pushed left on policies. The Biden administration is yet to take the helm, but so far his cabinet picks offer little hope that a leftward shift would materialize. Political observers say it is dominated by Obama, a world corporatist, and includes Neera Tanden, a very vocal critic of anyone on the left of the Democratic establishment. All right. So now you have this antagonist protagonist set up with these young, fresh faces versus the old establishment faces. Now, what's the punchline? You ready for it? All right, here we go real quick. In Hitman super sniper fashion, Joey Reid sitting here calling everybody racist. These people that push for Medicaid for all right? Now, Nancy Pelosi, you're a part of the GOP and QAnon if you don't vote for her, all right? Everybody that is for Medicare for all is part of the white Bernie Sanders left, all right? Check it out. Cori Bush, she is not white at all. On her platform, Medicare for all. 87 million Americans are uninsured and underinsured. This is the greatest crisis in our nation and often the number one issue in my conversations with voters because healthcare is a human right. As your congresswoman, she will pass Medicare for all. Woman of color. Cori Reid says people that push for Medicare for all are racist. We got Cori Bush, a loud and proud black woman with every Black Lives Matter shirt known to man. All right. Next, Kamala Harris. This one takes up two ethnic groups, Asian and black. All right. And it says Kamala Harris releases Medicare for all plan with a role for private insurers. Boom. Medicare for all system. Former Vice President Joe Biden appears to be gearing up to attack her at the upcoming debate on her support for Medicare for all. Bernie Sanders' single-payer health plan is called Medicare for all, and Kamala Harris is a co-sponsor on that plan. So we go back here. All right. This libtard down here says that first Glenn Greenwald, then Jimmy Dore, now Katie Halper. More and more of the very white Bernie Sanders left is showing the women of color today that they are really considered the help to be ordered around. All right. They're the help. That's what this T. Fisher King says. All right. Now, Katie Halper doesn't know what she's doing. Right. Now we got two people. We got Cori Bush, Medicare for All. Now we got Kamala Harris. Now, they talked about Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders very white left, but we got Kamala Harris, who is Joe Biden's vice president, co-sponsoring Bernie Sanders Medicare for All plan. All right. Senator Kamala Harris released a health care plan on Monday that will transition every American into her version of a Medicare for All system within 10 years. All right, here we go. Kamala Harris released this health care plan on Monday that will transition every American into her version of a Medicare for All system within 10 years. All right. The plan does not go as far or as fast as the one proposed by Senator Bernie Sanders, which Harris has co-sponsored in the Senate. All right. So we got the president and the vice president on completely different pages when it comes to healthcare. Kamala Harris has a plan here on Medium, my plan for Medicare for All. So let's hit the highlights. In America, healthcare should be a right, not a privilege, only for those who can afford it. It's why we need Medicare for All. How do we get to Medicare for All? Medicare for All will cover all medically necessary services, including emergency room visits, doctor visits, vision, dental, hearing aids, mental health, and substance use disorder, treatment, and comprehensive reproductive health care services. Under my Medicare for All plan, we will also expand the program to include other benefits Americans may desperately need. All right, so there's that. So what are we saying here? Very simple. We're saying that Joy Reid is an idiot. I just showed you two women of color who back and have their own Medicare for All plans. They pointed out Bernie Sanders as the source of this racism. Kamala Harris actually backs Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden doesn't agree with Kamala Harris and is not for Medicare for All. Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris as the vice president. What kind of sense does it make? None. All right. So that is all. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. And from what I understand, Periscope is ending. So make sure that you go to Blacklight Revelations on YouTube and smash that like button up. Hit that bell icon for notification. Share this to all your social media. Help us get to that 1,000 followers. We're going to be doing some shows and live streams pretty soon. Even though Periscope ain't going to be around, we still will be. All right. We just increased the presence on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. All right. So I will catch you guys later. We appreciate you. Peace.